Good morning, students. I welcome you all once again for the new second session of unit number 2, testing levels and types. So in the last class, we have discussed different types of testings, like the smallest or the lowest type of testing was the unit or component testing. The next was module testing, integration testing, and system testing, what we discussed yesterday. And another type, what we need to discuss today is the acceptance testing. So the lowest level, that is unit testing, is done at the developer himself can do that testing because he's familiar with the code. Then the what you call module testing, all the modules linked together will go in testing. Then the integration testing, all the modules linked together and we do testing, we call that as a integration testing. Then the system testing, we test the software requirement, specification or functional requirements, as well as the non-functional requirements are being tested at what you call the system testing. So these are the things what we discussed in the last class. In the today's class, we're going to discuss the last type, that is different levels, that is acceptance testing we need to discuss, or we will be discussing it. Then we're going to discuss about the different types of approaches. Testing, like what do you mean by static, comparison between static testing versus dynamic testing, positive versus negative, top down versus bottom. So these are the testing techniques we'll be discussing in today's class. First, we'll discuss about acceptance testing. What do you mean by acceptance testing? Yes, acceptance testing is tests conducted to determine if the requirements are requirements of a specification or contract are met. Yes, whether they are meeting the software is meeting the requirements of the customer or not, we call that. So, and the customer is going to test, or he'll be physically present, or he'll be doing in the organization, or he may do it in his environment, what you can call it. Yes, that is what. So that is what acceptance testing. Acceptance testing is a test conducted to determine if the requirements, yes, if the requirements of specification or contract are met. Whatever the requirements of the customer is there, he is developing a software for his business, or he may be developing for a banking application, whatever it is. So for that, we may allow you to whether those requirements are being met or not. Like it may involve, for some time, it may involve what you can call chemical test, physical test, or performance test. Yes, sometime as you we may create, like last class we discussed about satellite. You're developing a project for satellite. So satellite, you cannot have a actual testing cannot be done there. So you can create a virtual, we can create a simulation, a virtual test, what you can call that. That is what. So in that way, and chemical test cannot be done in your lab, or physical test cannot be done in your organization. So all such things need to be done in a particular location, or maybe somewhere else in the real-time environment, what you need to do it that. So that depends on the formal testing with respect to user needs, requirements, and business processes conducted to determine whether a system satisfies the acceptance criteria. So in the acceptance criteria, what we are going to test it, we're going to test whether the requirements of the customer are being met, whatever the requirements may be there. Yes, so those requirements have to be met then only he's going to take your project. So formal testing with respect to user needs, requirements of the customer, the requirements, business processes conducted to determine whether a system satisfies the acceptance criteria. To enable the user, customers, or other, to enable the users, the customers or authorized entity to determine whether to accept the system then. So we test it so that we can show the customer that the software is ready and he can accept the software. That is what we call acceptance testing, what you can go through these points. Somebody?
Acceptance testing is conducted to determine if the requirement of a specification or contract are met. It may involve chemical test, physical test, or performance test. Formal test with respect to user needs, requirement, and business process context to determine whether a system satisfies the acceptance criteria. To enable the user, customer, or other authorized entity to determine whether to accept the system.
Yeah, so based on the acceptance testing, if there are, suppose if some criteria are not met, then he may tell the developer that these are the criteria not met. So they can develop that, and then again they can ask the customer to verify. So this type of testing, we call that as a acceptance testing. Yes. So that is about your acceptance testing. Is it clear? So with this, we have completed your different levels of testing. Can somebody tell me what are the different levels, what we discussed so far? Different levels of testing. Somebody.
Unit or component testing, module testing, integration testing, system testing, and acceptance testing.
Yes, these are the different levels of testing what we need to do in the testing environment. So that is, these are called as the levels of testing. Now we'll discuss different approaches are there. So different approaches are there. We'll be discussing that. Yes. So as you discuss, see, unit test, then combine into you can see the diagram here. So unit test. So then all the units combined, component or unit, we call combine unit into modules. Yes. Then we do module test. After modules, all the modules are linked together and that is what we call interconnect. We call that as integration testing. Then after integration testing, we identify or we test the software requirement specifications. That is what we call system testing. Then after system testing, we do the last one is acceptance testing, where the user or the client tests whether all the requirements are met or not. So that is what we call acceptance testing. So who is going to do? So here we can see in the unit test, that is unit at the smallest level, all the units are combined into modules and we do module test. We call that as a module test plan. And all the modules are linked, that is integration testing. That is nothing but integration plan. After all the modules are completed, then we do what we call system test plan. That is what we call system testing, where we're going to identify or test of software requirement specification. Acceptance says we test the acceptance test plan, where the client is going to check his requirements. So these are the different levels what we have discussed. Now we'll be discussing the different approaches also. That is fine. Before that, we'll discuss here. So acceptance testing are of again different types are there. So different types of acceptance testing are there. What is that? We're going to discuss it here. User acceptance testing, it is carried out at the developer's premises based on the acceptance test plan. So the client has given his requirements. Based on that, you will be having a plan. So that is being tested at the developers in the developer's environment or premises. In the company, you're developing software. In your organization, you're going to test whether the requirements of the customer or client are being met or not. That is what we call acceptance, user acceptance testing. Is based on the plan. We have the requirements given by the customer. Whether those requirements are met or not, you are going to test it. That is what we call user acceptance testing. What we call next. Operational acceptance testing, the software is installed in the actual working environment and the performance observed over time to check how the software meets the user operational needs. What is it? The operational acceptance testing, the software is installed in the actual working environment and the performance observed over time to check how the software meets the user operational. What we do, so in our organization, we have developed the software, we have tested according to us, it is working, no doubt, that's correct. Now, the same software is installed in the as per the environment required by the customer. So there it is installed, that is the actual real environment. Now, suppose you're developing it for a company or mart, what you can call that, yes? Supermarket. Yes, so there you need to install the software and check whether it is working or not, actual environment. Yes, and the performance is observed there immediately after installing. Once if you execute and you say that it is working, no, you'll observe it for 1 day or 5 days or 1 week or 2 weeks. Then after that, you can say that the software is working it's working correctly there. So performance observed over time to check how the software meets the user operation needs, whether all the requirements are being met by that software or not. You are being tested there in the actual environment. That is what we call operational acceptance testing. In the real environment, you do testing that. That is what we call operational acceptance testing. And the next one is contractual fulfillment testing. What is this? If there are any special contractual obligation, such as environmental testing for the hardware or testing the system for airborne application, then testing is done to fulfill these obligations. Like for example, as I told you, satellite, you cannot test for the satellite projects. So what we need to do, you need to test somewhere else in the real-time environment. Yes. So that is, you need, if you are given any contract, if there's any agreement between you and the developer, you need to test it there. That is what we call contractual fulfillment testing there. Or you may need to test for hardware. You need to test for some other what do you call, requirements may be there. So if you have had a contract, or if you've done an agreement between the developer and the client, then you need to test that also. That is what you call contractual fulfillment testing. If you have made an agreement between the customer and the developer, you have signed an agreement that I'm going to perform the actual testing, the real-time testing. So you need to do real-time testing in the real environment. Like for example, for satellite movement and all that. For projects related to satellite, you can do only virtual testing, but when you're developing the software, you're committed that you're going to do real time. So you need to do that testing also, real time, for airborne applications or flights. For example, you're developing software for flights, like that. So that is what you need to test the actual environment. That is what we call contractual fulfillment testing. Next is regulatory acceptance testing. The software may be required to conform to international standard. In such cases, the necessary testing is done. So your software should accept the the standards given by the company or the country. So your software, you're developing it for international, multinational company there. So it has to meet those standards. So whether those standards are being met or not, we test it. That is what we call regulatory acceptance testing. Right? Fine. So these are the different types of acceptance testing. Can somebody go through this?
Acceptance testings are of different types. User acceptance testing, it is a carrier out at the developer premises based on acceptance testing plan. Operational acceptance testing, the software is installed in the actual working environment and the performance observed over time to check how the software meets the user operational needs. Contractual fulfillment testing, if there are any special contractual obligations such as environment testing for the hardware testing, the system for an airborne application, then testing is done to fulfill their obligation. Regulatory acceptance testing, the software may be required to conform to international standard. In such cases, the necessary testing is done.
So these are the different types of acceptance testing, what you can call that. User acceptance testing, operational acceptance testing, contractual fulfillment testing, and regulatory acceptance testing. Yes, fine. Yes. Next is we're going to discuss about the different approaches, what you call. Yes. So, and the first one is static versus dynamic testing, what you can call. So as you know, what can somebody tell me what is static testing?
Manual testing.
Yeah, testing the program manually without executing it. Main important, without executing. We call static testing. Then what is dynamic testing?
Testing by executing the code, sir.
When you execute the program and test it, we call that as a dynamic testing. So we are going to discuss here the comparison between static and versus dynamic testing. In static testing, the code is checked without executing it. So you remember, so in the what you can call in the entire what you call subject, so we'll be using this term static and dynamic there. Yes, white box and black box testing, what you call it. Yes, it is also known as desk checking. See, the static testing is also known as what called desk checking. If the development team forget to implement a particular user requirement, this can be revealed only in static testing as the code is checked for completeness. But dynamic testing does not reveal such error. See what happened. So when can we find that some implementation or requirements are not met? So we can identify only through static testing. What the code will do, in the case of dynamic testing, you return the code, and the code will execute and may show you the errors, whatever the code you have written. Suppose you would have written, you would have forgotten to write a particular case or situation. So that cannot be done with the help of dynamic testing, because the code is there. Whatever the code is there, you test it and do the bugs. But in the case of static testing, if you would have forgotten to write some requirements or a particular module or particular operation, that can be revealed in the case of static testing, because you're checking manually whether the requirements are being met or not. So that is what we call static testing versus dynamic testing, what we call. Yes, that is what static testing. So this can be revealed only in static testing as the code is checked for completeness, but dynamic testing does not reveal such error. So what, whether your program is complete or your project is complete or not, what you can call, that is being tested in the case of static testing. If you have left any module or any requirement, that can be easily find out in the case of static testing, but that is not possible in the case of dynamic testing. Go through these points, somebody.
Static testing versus dynamic testing. In static testing, the code is checked without executing it. It is also known as a test checking. Example, if the development team forgot to implement a particular user requirement, this can be revealed only in a static testing, as the code is checked for the completeness, but dynamic testing does not reveal such error.
Yes. So that is what in the case of static testing. What it is fine. Next is about what you can call is positive testing versus negative testing. What you can call. We need to test the software to check whether it is doing what is intended to do. Yes. So here, excuse me. So here we are going to discuss about positive testing versus negative testing. So we need to test the software to check whether it is doing what is intended to do. But that is not enough. We also need to check whether it is doing anything which is not intended to do. So what is the requirement? We test that. So we test whether the requirements are properly met or not, what you can call this, properly met or not. Those requirements are met or not, we can call. So sometimes the software may perform correctly, or so it may perform some other things, or it may generate the unwanted result, unintended result. So we need to check that. So we need to test the software whether it is doing what is required or whether it is doing what is not required. So this we call as a positive and negative testing. Yes, this is differentiated by positive testing and negative testing, what you can call. Yes, so we need to test whether the software is doing what is required, or we need to test whether it is doing what is not required. So we need to test both the things. Yes. Positive testing is testing the software to ensure that it does what is intended to do. So whatever the output which the program is generated, if it is correct or if it is accepted or if it is required output, then we can say that it is positive testing. If the software is generating the output which is not required or which is not intended, we call that as a negative testing. Got the point there? So positive testing, the output which is required as per the requirement, we call that as a positive testing, and the output which is not required, or the software is generating or producing the output which is not required, we call that as a negative testing, what you can call it. Yes, go through these points.
Positive testing versus negative testing. We need to test the software to check whether it is doing what is intended to do, but that it's not enough. We also need to check whether it is doing anything which it is not intended to do. This is differentiated by positive testing and negative testing. Positive testing is testing the software to ensure that it does what it is intended to do. Negative testing is a testing the software to ensure that is do not do anything it is not intended to do.
Yes, fine. Is it clear? That is about positive and negative testing there. So that is what is fine. We'll continue again. Yes. Next is there are two more approaches: top-down testing versus bottom-up testing. What is this? In top-down testing is done from top hierarchy. See, like top to bottom, we execute from top to bottom there. Dummy routines called stubs are introduced that simulator module. So what we do here, some dummy programs, we call them as a stubs or routines, are introduced to a simulator model. Simulator is nothing but to execute what we call. It's a, like for virtual environment, we have a simulation similar. Like for example, what you can call, you have your you would have studied in digital electronics, full adder, half adder, and gates and all. So for that we can have a simulation software design where you, program may be there or a software is available. We call that a simulation lab. In the case of electronic students, they study that. So where you might have actually rigged up the circuit that in the PCB, what you can call that. So you would have taken some hardware and then you have connected it. But the same thing can be done using a software where what you call the different types of gates are there. You can take the AND gate, OR gate, or AND gate, whatever it is, and you can give the inputs and the corresponding outputs will be generated. So that is what we call simulation there. So here in the case of top-down approach also, what we can do, we can take, in the case of top-down testing, we are using some routines, dummy routines. We are calling them as a stubs, are introduced that simulator module to test a module, we are using some smaller programs. They are called as the stubs, which you may ignore it later. Yes. In the case of bottom-up testing, is done from bottom of hierarchy. Dummy routines, they are called as the drivers, are introduced that invoke a module. So in the top-down, we are using stubs. In bottom up, we are going to use a drivers. Yes, so they are going to simulate the module what you call. Yes, fine. That is what. Example, like for example, we may be familiar with your stack push and pop operation. See, implementing stack, the program contains a main function and functions to push and pop. See, so top down, like for which is a top down, push or pop? Can you tell me? Which is which can be out of push and pop, which is top down and which is bottom up? Can somebody tell me? You are familiar with push and pop function in stacks and queues, whatever it is. Which is top down? Yes, which operation is top down? Top down.
Pop
What is that?
operation.
Huh? Which operation?
Pop operation, sir.
Yes, pop operation is top down. Is it right? Is it right? Somebody else?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yeah. Whichever the top element, that will be at the last. Top down it is. Yes, top down. The first element which you are entering, that will be at the top down there. Yes, and push will be bottom up. So last element, whichever that will be going to come out first. Is it clear? Yes. So top down and bottom up. They are the example for push and pop. You can call them. Is it clear? It's top down and bottom up. So that is, these are the examples for push and pop operation. Similarly, they are nothing but top down. For top down, we use stubs, and for bottom up, we use what you call the drivers. So these are the two different approaches: top down versus bottom up testing. That's fine. Some other things we'll discuss. What is this? In top down approach, first the main function is tested. See what we do. We invoke the main function and we test it. In the place where a push function is called, a print statement can be introduced which prints the call of the push function, what you can call. Yes. Similarly, at the point where a pop function is called, we can use one more print statement can be used. Similar in that. In top down approach, first the main function is tested, then other functions are in. So top down. First, whichever is at the top main function, then sub functions are being tested. So it is in the hierarchy from top to bottom. Whereas the bottom up, the main sub functions are tested, then the main functions are tested. Bottom up strategy, what you call it. Yes, fine. In the place where a push function is called, we can use a print statement can be introduced which prints the call of the push function. Similarly, at the point where a pop function is called. In bottom-up approach, a driver function is written which just calls the push functions first, and then testing is done to ensure that the push works well. Similarly, pop function is tested. So in the top down, the main function is tested, then the sub function, whereas in the pop, the first function is tested, and then the main function is tested. That is what in the case of bottom-up testing. Go through these points.
In top-down approach, the main function is tested. In the place where a push function is called, a print statement can be introduced with prints called the push function. Similarly, at the point where a pop function is called, example, in bottom-up approach, a driver function is written which just calls the push function first, and then test is done to ensure that the push works well. Similarly, pop function is tested.
Yeah. So wherever the stubs are nothing but, in the case of top down, you just write instead of to test it, you can place a print statement there wherever the the function is push or pop is placed. So first in the top down, first the main function, then the push or pop function. Whereas in the bottom up, first the push or pop, then the main function. That is what in the case of bottom up approach, where in the bottom up we are using a driver, whereas in the top down we are using a stubs, what you call. Is it clear? Fine. Next. Yes, so these are the things what we discussed. Somebody go through this before that. Yes, in the today's class, you discussed about acceptance testing. It is conducted to determine if the requirements of a specification or contract are met. Then in the static testing, the code is checked without executing it. Hence, it is also known as desk checking. Dynamic testing does not reveal errors, like what you call, if the requirements are being met, that will not be identified by static testing. Whereas next is about your positive testing. Positive testing is to test the software to check whether it is doing what is intended to do, or whether it is doing what is required to do that. And negative testing is testing the software to ensure that it does not do anything that it is not intended to do. Then in the case of top-down testing, dummy routines are called stubs are introduced that simulate a model, and in bottom-up dummy routines are called drivers are introduced that invoke a module. Yes, somebody go through these points.
Acceptance testing is a test conducted to determine if the requirement of a specification or contract are met. In static testing, the code is checked without executing it, hence it is also known as a desk checking. Dynamic testing does not reveal such error. Positive testing to test the software to check whether it is doing what is intended to do. Negative testing is testing the software to ensure that it does not do anything it is not intended to do. In top-down testing, dummy routine called stubs are introduced that stimulate a module. Bottom-up dummy routines called drivers are introduced that invoke a module.
Yes, fine. So these are the things what we discussed. Just I'll go through the things once again from the top. Yes, beginning. Yes, fine. So can somebody tell me what do you mean by acceptance testing? Somebody define acceptance testing. Anybody can answer.
Acceptance testing is a test conducted to determine if the requirement of a specification or contrast are met.
That's fine. That is what acceptance. Again, you discussed there are different types of acceptance testing. Can somebody tell me the different types of acceptance testing?
User acceptance testing, operational acceptance testing, contractual fulfillment testing, regulatory acceptance testing.
Yeah, 4 types are there. Yes. Once again, just tell me. User acceptance testing.
Operational acceptance testing, contractual fulfillment testing, regulatory acceptance testing.
Yes, 4 types of acceptance testing. Then we need to discuss about what do you mean by, somebody define static testing.
Manually checking the code.
Somebody else. Every time
Static testing.
should answer.
Static testing, the code is checked without executing it. It is also known as desk checking.
Yes. Then what else? What type of error is identified in the static testing? What else we do? If there any requirements are not what you can call identified or not written, that can be done identified only with the help of static testing. Yes. Next, what is dynamic testing? Somebody else. Next, other student, not the same.
Dynamic testing is done while executing.
Dynamic testing is
Done by executing.
Right, executing the code. What you call, whatever the code is there, you're going to execute and we identify the errors. That is in the case of dynamic testing. If some part of the program which is not written at all, that cannot be identified with the help of dynamic testing. Yes. Next, somebody else. What do you mean by positive testing? Somebody, positive testing. Otherwise, I'll call by name somebody if you don't answer. Positive testing.
Positive testing is testing the software to ensure that it does what it is intended to do.
Yeah, whatever the software, whether it is generating the correct output, so we call that as a positive testing. What is the requirement? If the software is meeting that requirement, we call that as a positive testing. Somebody else. Next, negative testing. What do you mean by negative testing?
Negative testing is the software to ensure that is does not to do anything it is not intended to do.
Yeah, so negative testing is a testing. So if it is generating the output, which it should not do it. So not intended to do. That is not requirement. So the requirement is different, but it is generating the wrong output. We call that as a negative testing. Yes, next. What do you mean by top-down testing? Somebody else, next. Yes, top-down testing.
Top-down testing is done from the top of the hierarchy.
Yes.
Dummy routines are called stubs.
Yeah, we are going to use, in the case of top-down testing, we use a dummy routines. They are called as the stubs. Yes, next, what is bottom-up testing?
Bottom-up
Yes.
testing is done from the bottom of hierarchy. Dummy routines called drivers are introduced that invoke a model.
Yeah, so in the bottom-up testing, we are using a program, or we call them as a drivers. In top-down testing, we use what you can call the stubs. The dummy routines, they are called as a stubs. And in the bottom-up testing, we use what you can call the routines, they are called as drivers. In the top-down testing, first the main function is tested and then the sub-function. Whereas the bottom-up testing, first the sub-function is tested and then the main function is tested. So these are the things what we have discussed in today's class. So I hope you understood all the topics. Is it clear, all of you? Yes, fine. Any doubts so far in this today's class?
No, sir.
Okay, fine then. So with this, we'll wind up today's class. Thank you, one and all. Fine. We shall see you again tomorrow.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.